Hello, my fireflies, and welcome back to the TheCyanFirefly. It's me, Lyiat, and today I'm going to bring you my thoughts on the XCOM Enemy Unknown demo. Keep in mind that the footage presented here is a demo and not the final product, which comes out on the 9th of October. There are major features of this game not presented here. With that understood, let's go on with the show. So what is XCOM Enemy Unknown? Well, in order to understand that, you have to know what the XCOM series is. Back in 1994, a company known as Mythos Games, alongside Microprose Software, developed a game known as UFO Enemy Unknown. Others might remember it as XCOM, UFO Defense. Either way, this was an incredibly popular title back in the day and launched into a series of sequels, some of which were very good and others which were rather bad. The final two scheduled in the series ended up being cancelled after the company that owned the franchise at the time, Hasbro Interactive, went belly up. The franchise has changed hands several times since then. Eventually, the license for the franchise ended back up on Sid Meier's desk. Sid Meier's did work at and co-owned Microprose when the original XCOM was in production, so perhaps it is only proper that his company, Firaxis, remake the series from the ground up. Meier himself is not actively involved in the development of this title, so just keep that in mind. What exactly goes on in XCOM? Well, you take control of the Extraterrestrial Combat Unit, otherwise known as, of course, XCOM. XCOM has been put together by a Council of Nations to answer the sudden threat of invasion from outer space by advanced alien beings. There have been rumors of increased alien abductions and UFO spottings, and you are sent out to investigate one such occurrence in Munich, Germany. Another unit has gone missing, and you must discover what happened to them, and what occurred to the area in general. The scene you arrive at is chaos and death. The unit you have come to find has been blasted into pieces, and your men's concerns mount as they approach a warehouse at the end of the street. This quickly leads to an ambush by the invading alien force, which slaughters pretty much your entire unit. The game kicks into full swing from there, or at least I assume it does. The demo only continues for one more level. The gameplay for XCOM revolves around three major sectors: base management, ground battles, and air combat. The demo really only focuses on ground combat and the battlescape, only briefly touching upon the base management aspect while not featuring air combat whatsoever. I'm a tiny bit concerned that they haven't shown off the other two major aspects in depth, but I can say that the battles on the ground are very satisfying and work quite well. Ground combat is turn-based and has a real cinematic feel. The camera dynamically follows the action as it occurs, shifting to give the player cool views of the battlefield as it unfolds. You get a really neat angle as your soldier charges in and boots down a door to breach a room, or as he unloads half a clip from an LMG into a sectoid's face. The game is incredibly tactical, giving each soldier a limited number of actions per turn to force the player to commit to his choices. Many things have to be taken into account, such as line of sight, the degree of cover, the class and equipment of the soldier, and his enemies. There is an incredible amount of depth hidden under a very easy to understand control system and GUI. I have to praise the game for its aesthetic. It looks really good and it's optimized really well. Even with maximum settings, it plays at a firm 60 frames per second on my system with no frame skipping or anything of the sort. It also has some very short loading times, which I do believe are hidden mostly under unskippable cutscenes. The only time that this game has any considerable lag was just before and just after missions, in which I do think the game was busy loading assets. The issue was also likely compounded due to the fact that I had Fraps streaming to the same HD. This demo was not without its problems, however, and I do have to mention my concerns about how this will impact the full game. The demo was incredibly cutscene heavy, and I was not permitted full control of my units for half an hour. The base building options that it gave you access to were very much limited, and I could not see the engineering or access the hangar sections. The air combat was also not mentioned whatsoever. I have to wonder why they did not permit people to see these features in the demo. They were incredibly vital for the original title, and from my understanding will still be very important in this title as well. I suppose we'll have to wait and see for the game to release on October 9th. For the moment, I remain cautiously optimistic and I shall look forward to the release of XCOM. I have managed to secure myself the ability to pick up at least one copy on release, so I'll give the full game a good look in 2 weeks. But until then, this has been Lyiat, dumping a shotgun shell into the face of a sectoid from 30 paces away. I'll see you next time.